Hi, Destiny. This is Ubria. I'm here with the first season of your 4-part reading. So this would be, what is this? Yeah, this would be winter. It's so weird that the year starts in winter. That the year starts when everything's dead. Because it makes it so hard to be optimistic about the growth that's occurring underneath. So yeah, here we are in winter. So I'm going to divide this reading into 5 parts. The first part will be this winter of 2021. What will be your most important focus? Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have the 2 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, and the 4 of Pentacles. Wow, with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So this is a time that you're going to have to focus on your emotions, but not necessarily in the way that you think. I don't mean romantic emotions, although this can be about relationships, but I'm getting more family relationships, child-parent relationships, because there's a way in which that you need to focus on the way that your relationships and your emotions as it pertains to these relationships affect your thinking and affect the way that you interact with your own intuition, really. Because with the 2 of Swords, it's about the way that sometimes we are deceived, but sometimes the way that we deceive ourselves, sometimes the way that we somehow let the voices of past relationships interfere with our relationship with ourselves. So, you want to get motivated to do something, but there's this voice from 10 years ago, it's your mom's voice that's saying, like, I don't even know why you want to do that. Oh, I'll give you an example. So for me, I am I'm a tarot reader now, but I was a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer, and it's odd because I never quite succeeded at it, even though I went to college at it. I went to college for writing, and I've written stories and poems and published articles, but there was this place where I've just always been afraid to really try. Maybe because I've been afraid to fail. And again, that comes back to, like, how are you rewarded for trying versus failing at home and, in childhood? Because it affects the way that you apply yourself when it comes to being grown. So I remember when I was in college, I wrote something that I was very proud of. And I always wanted to be a person who wrote nonfiction, creative nonfiction. So basically memoir, like write about your life, And so I had written this paragraph or whatever. I was really proud of it. And I read it to my mother. And her response was, well, I guess there are people who like that sort of writing. And then another time she told me that she just didn't really think that people really read that sort of stuff. And I don't know, it's like it made me feel like that was true. There was a way that I took her opinion as truth about me and my work. And I didn't even see it at the time, but it really affected my confidence, because there was a part of me that just felt like people don't even like this shit. Which may or not be true, but the point is, it doesn't matter. The point is, my mother's voice became my voice. Her opinion about me became my opinion about me. And your most important focus during this winter is going to be to see the places where that's going on for you, where somebody could say like one little thing and it just kind of sends you off into a bad mood, or sends you off into a place where now you're doubting yourself or you're feeling frustrated. And most importantly, where people can say things to you or not say things to you. There's also an element of the cold shoulder here, where maybe somebody else could be giving you the cold shoulder. Somebody else could be treating you like you did something wrong, but you don't know what you did wrong. And then now your mood is affected by the way that this person did or did not interact with you. Um, it's like there's really no way around this. I feel like this is just something that you're going to have to deal with and pay attention to, because you're going to have to notice how much this energy and this thought pattern keeps you stuck and keeps you focused on what you shouldn't do, where you shouldn't go, what you can't do, what you don't have, just like negative reinforcement. It's the universe is trying to call your attention to that, to the fact that a lot of times the things that you feel like are stopping you are really, it's like somebody hands you the bullet or the gun and you shoot yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you may think to yourself like, oh my God, this person said this to me, or this person treated me this way, or whatever, and you feel like somehow that matters, meaning like somehow that has to have an effect on the way that you then treat yourself. Oh, I just heard reparent yourself. Yeah, there's an idea of reparenting here, of seeing where generationally the same thing has been done over and over and over and over again, to where one person feels like they have to be bigger than the other person, or better than the other person, or in charge of the other person, in power over the other person. And we're all grown now, so maybe that's just, it's time for you to see that, how just because that's been the pattern maybe in your family or in your friend group or whatever, that doesn't have to be true for you in your personal life. But before you can separate that pattern and eliminate, like identify it and eliminate it, first you have to see it. You have to, like I said, you have to identify it, and then you can eliminate it. Yeah, okay. So that's your focus. Now, what are going to be your distractions from this? Well, card pop right out. Two of Cups. Okay, so your distractions from this work that you're going to have to do during winter, this focus on how other people's thoughts about you are influencing your thoughts about you. Number one of the distractions is just going to be like day-to-day interactions with these people, where you have to have you have to have an exchange with them. So it's the kind of thing where it's so close to your face, it's hard to see it clearly. And I feel like for you, there might be an element of really wanting to please these people, like really thinking that if you could just on a daily basis make these people happy, or make things pleasant, have pleasant interactions, that it will somehow erase this gnawing thing going on in the back of your mind, where you feel like something's not quite right, or somebody's really not keeping it a buck with you. Somebody said they fuck with you, but they don't really fuck with you. Are they talking about me behind my back? Is, you know what I mean? It's kind of like things like that can only happen when there's distance between people. So I feel like what's going to distract you is maybe there's not going to be any distance, or maybe this might be the other person really trying to stay in close proximity to you, trying to stay in your face, making sure that there's conversations with you on a daily basis, checking in, I'm just checking in, but then when you really need to emotionally rely on this person or these people, or have like a deeper conversation about the root issue, then they're completely emotionally unavailable, right? So there's just like going to be this push and pull that will distract you from really seeing for yourself how this is playing out in your narrative about yourself and your life, which is the main focus, is you moving on with your life. Okay. Another thing that's going to distract you is just feeling like you're stuck, honestly, and feeling like there's no way around this. It's like you almost don't know any life or identity outside of this dynamic. So you're going to feel very ungrounded in trying something new, because it's like trying to do something that you've never seen before, trying to have something that you've never had before, trying to Sorry, I had to pause it, and I think I had lost my train of thought. I had to talk to my baby. But yeah, he said he had a bad dream. But yeah, I'm just kidding. It's like you just don't know how to get across this river of emotion. You don't know how to, because somehow it seems like no matter what you try to do, you end up at the same place. Oh yeah, no, that's what I was saying. It's like you're trying to, yeah, you're trying to build, you're trying to have an experience that you've never had before and that you've never seen anyone else have before. It's like saying, I want this type of marriage, but the only kind of relationships you've ever seen are terrible. So you don't even know what that looks like, but you do know what it feels like based on how you don't want to feel anymore. So the distraction will be that it's like you will get caught up so much in how you feel and the negative aspects of it that you'll forget that it's almost like research. You're really trying to distinguish how much you don't want to feel this way and where these feelings are coming from and how they're affecting your thoughts about your ability to move forward into a new type of reality for yourself. So just don't get caught up in those feelings, because I feel like you also might try to just move on without really dealing with these feelings. That's the thing too, is like these feelings have to be dealt with. They have to be understood, analyzed, sat in, thought about. You really have to process these emotions, not just stuff them away or put them aside or hold them back or work it off or distract yourself or anything like that. You really have to deal with it, because if you don't, then you're gonna have to, this is like a lesson that's gonna have to repeat over and over again, and you don't want to deal with that. You really want to get the lesson and move forward, because you deserve that, because you would have earned that, because you would have gotten the lesson. So once you get the lesson, you get to up level, you get to level up, and I feel like that's what you want to do. So don't get distracted by trying to have any shortcuts or trying to take the easy route or just go around these things or just avoid these people, just avoid these feelings. Yeah, don't do that. All right. So what's going to be your strategy for that? What will be Destiny's strategy this winter? Okay, we have the Page of Cups. There's so many cups. So this is allowing your emotions to surprise you. So here's the thing. You're going to approach this. You might feel tired, right? Like, oh my God, I don't want to feel these feelings. I keep feeling the same old thing all the time. I'm tired of feeling this way. So then the distraction, the lure will be to avoid those emotions, because you feel like you've already dealt with them. You already know what that is. One of the strategies that you're going to have to employ this winter is to let your feelings surprise you. And I feel like this goes back to what we talked about with the fact that it's winter and the year starts when everything's dead. Is that when the year starts when everything's dead and you just expect everything to be dead, because it's kind of like the way the year starts is the way you think it's going to go. So you start the year and there's snow everywhere and there's no leaves on the trees and it's cold and it's dead and it's lonely and it's empty. And so then when spring comes and these little shoots of growth start to, pop up, it's always very surprising, because it's like you forgot that you could ever have warmth. You forgot that there could be growth. You know what I mean? You forgot that the world could come alive. So I feel like allow yourself to move through this. When we move through pain, when we move through emotional experiences that we've avoided for a very long time, I feel like there's always this element of surprise that we actually got over it, that there was actually another side to this. When we get those glimpses of healing and the same triggers no longer trigger us, or they trigger an awareness of the trigger as opposed to just our like natural response. Instead of popping off, what happens is you notice that you want to pop off. You notice that if you had been a different type of bitch on another day, you would have popped off. But the person that you are today, oh my God, I'm a different person. I didn't want to pop off. I didn't even want to. I just felt peaceful. That is a surprise. So I feel like one strategy is just going to be to don't expect everything to stay the same. Go into this emotional work, focus on it, allow yourself to be immersed in it, but expect that there is going to be another side. Okay. All right. What's another strategy? Hear my baby's playing in the background. Okay, another, like I said, okay, so the other part of the strategy is the Wheel of Fortune. Getting a lot of sleep, allowing yourself to dream a lot. So don't rush, don't overschedule yourself. I feel like God has a lot for you. The Most High has a lot for you, but he has to up level and upgrade your understanding before he can start giving you the plan for the next part of your life. And so part of putting a new understanding in you is clearing old emotions out. So this is all part of a larger process. You have to get these old emotions out, process them, allow yourself to be surprised by the fact that you're becoming new. Now, this may feel a little bit like depression. You may feel like depressive sleep, especially since it's winter. You may feel like you don't want to get up, you don't want to do anything, but let it be purposeful rest instead of judging yourself. And what I mean is, the reason why you would judge yourself is maybe because you would find yourself too tired to do the things that you had scheduled to do. So you'd be canceling on people. So what I'm saying as a strategy is expect that you're going to feel differently. Expect that there is another side to this. So then at the same time, allow yourself to fully immerse yourself into it. In other words, I'm going to sleep for a week knowing that then I will have the energy to do everything I've ever wanted to do. And I've never had the energy to do everything I never wanted to do. In fact, I'm always tired because I never get enough sleep. You do know what I mean? So it's like, allow yourself to go through the process, trusting that there is something amazing on the other side that's going to surprise you. Part of this will include sleeping a lot. So don't overschedule yourself. Don't overbook yourself. That way you won't have to cancel on people. That way your confidence won't be diminished and affected while you're sleeping a lot. It's like, just plan to be spending this time with yourself, sleeping, dreaming, journaling, meditating, praying, just getting answers from the realms that they're going to be coming at you. And when that happens, when the Most High has things to say to you, you feel very heavy. You feel very, you feel like you leave the house to go to the store and you never make it to the store because first you wanted to go down this street and then you wanted to go down that street and then you wanted to sit here and think for a minute and then you wanted to eat at this coffee shop and you never ate at this coffee shop before. You know what I mean? It's almost like somebody else takes the wheel of your mind and the wheel of your body and leads you where it's time for you to be led. But you have to give up control to do that. So give your schedule to God this winter. Just do what you have to do, but keep a lot of free time because you're gonna need it, and you're gonna need to not feel guilty about it. Okay. Another strategy is this has to do with listening, hearing what people are saying underneath what they're saying, hearing what people are really saying. And I feel like that's going to happen after you get all these downloads. That's part of the space that's going to be opened up within you is once you process all of your emotions and get them out of the way, you don't have so many triggers. And then because you don't have so many triggers, you're able to hear what people are really saying. And that goes both ways. Sometimes people could be shady as shit when they talk to us, but because we have such a need for approval, we don't hear it. And then when we don't give a damn about their opinion anymore, we hear all the shade, right? The other thing too is that sometimes we can be so insecure and sensitive and just full of those emotions within us that people can be trying to compliment us and say sweet things, but we take offense to it even though they didn't mean anything by it because we're so full of our own offensive thoughts towards ourselves. So it goes both ways, right? People could be being nice to you and you don't hear it, and people could be being mean to you and you don't hear that either. But I feel like after you get these downloads, you allow your emotions to surprise you. You allow yourself to get in this energy. You see where other people's thoughts affect your thoughts about yourself, and you clear all that up through just spending the time with your thoughts and your emotions and separating the two. and giving yourself the time and space to do that, you will be able to hear very clearly going into spring what people are really saying to you. And I feel like that sharpness, that increase in communication is going to help you for the rest of the year. Okay? All right. Very quickly, we're going to get the lesson for I feel like the lesson for you is to stop. It's time for you to go greater. It's time for you to go higher than everyone around you. Period. And you don't have to settle any more for this shit. Whatever this confusing, conflicted, disorganized, dysfunctional existence is, that I feel like is the status quo in your environment. You've dealt with it long enough and you don't have to deal with it anymore. But it is going to require you to organize your own thoughts, emotions, and most importantly, your desires, and for you to figure out, what do you want for yourself? That's the lesson. What do you want for you? Because you can have it. And it doesn't have to be anything you've ever experienced before. It can be brand new. Okay? And then the blessing for this season. Yes. You're starting a whole new soul cycle for yourself. To where now you can do what you want to do. And be the person you want to be. And you don't have to continue these cycles and patterns that were passed down to you. You can do a new thing. Yes, that is your blessing, Destiny. I love it. All right, so that is your reading for winter 2021, and I will talk to you in spring.